This is Vernacular TV, being blunt and sparking conversation. Hey Herb, what is the conversation about today? Today, the conversation is about the international system. The international system, as we see with the war in Iraq, the war in Yemen, the war and the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, Yugoslavia, the international system, the politics of the system, the international system, anarchy in its nature. The system itself is perpetuated by those actors and states that maximize their utilities. Europe have been maximizing its utilities from colonial times to the current times. Still powerful nations in Europe still dominate the system. Great Britain, France, Germany. These powerful state actors has continued to maximize their utility. Post World War I and II, now the United States, the dominant power, has been able to maximize its utility. You can see with the war in Iraq and the overthrow of Saddam Hussein and the United States occupying Iraq for some decade span. The international system, the conversation that takes place within the system, the international system, anarchy in its nature. The system is perpetuated by state actors, state organizations, businesses that maximize their utilities. Civil organization, political organization, all different type of organization intertwined, interworking with each other to maximize the utilities of the state and its actors and its organization and businesses. Last year we saw with the invasion of Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine and took over. A few years back, took over Crimea. The international system, state actor, superpower, now is maximizing its utility, its political, social, economical utility, military power, utilities to gain leverage within the system. The system is changing, shifting. The dynamic is changing. We can see from the war in Iraq to Libya, Syria, the Arab Spring, the system is changing. Recently, Iran and Saudi Arabia, a deal was brokered between the Chinese, the Communist Party, the Chinese, Xi Jinping. They brokered a deal for Iran and Saudi to sit down and have conversation on how to resolve some on the turmoil that has been going on in the Middle East for the last 2 decades. The international system. You see Mohammed bin Salman, he has beef with President Joe Biden. We will make Saudi a pariah state. Now Saudi is turning its tail away from the United States just a little bit, bolstering itself within its foreign policy. Now Saudi is turning to Beijing, warming ties. Saudi Arabia and Iran, a deal was brokered. Our embassy will be open within the next 2 months, depending on what's going on with the negotiation in Yemen, in Syria, in Lebanon. The international system, anarchy in its nature. Politics make strange bad fellows. The system, each state trying to maximize its utility. Saudi is turning away from the United States, creating that friction a little bit, trying to leverage his way with the United States, bargaining his way, because Saudi wants certain things from the United States and Saudi Arabia is not getting it. And the young prince Mohammed bin Salman been under so much scrutiny with the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, the war in Yemen, the human rights situation has been plaguing this young prince. Then you got Biden in odds with the Saudi. The system is shifting. Beijing is on the scene. That wild power, that wild beast from the east is rousing, brokering a deal between the monarchical government of Saudi Arabia and the theocracy of Iran. The communists is leading the path while democracy is still there with it in the winds. Washington don't like that. Unknown to Washington, the deal was announced. Unknown to the Brussels, the Germany, the France, the deal was announced to show you that the international system, anarchy in its nature, the system is perpetuated by state actors, states that want to maximize their utilities. The colonial times is gone. The times of domination by the Europeans and the United States is gone. Different actors is coming within the conversation. Since the war in Ukraine that disallowed Russia to use the swift international big banking avenues, now other avenues is being opened up because Russia was deeply entrenched into the European market.